Hi, I'm Ned Hall. I'm from Westwood, Massachusetts, and I had two strokes in February 2013. I was making breakfast for my two young children. One was 3 at the time, and one was 10 months old at the time. And I was taking a box of Bisquick off the shelf, and it dropped out of my hand, and I felt like I was going to pass out. I went and sat down. My wife came over to try and talk to me, and I had speech problems. I couldn't communicate at all. She kept asking me what's going on, and I kept trying to communicate to her that I couldn't tell what was going on. And but fortunately, within a minute or so, I was able to speak freely again. And the only deficit that I had was that my left hand was numb. I called my primary care physician's office, but it was President's Day weekend, so I talked to whoever the doctor was that was on call, and he said, well, it's probably migraine, some strange symptom of a migraine. It happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. Just come and talk to your primary care doctor tomorrow. So the following day, I went and spoke to my primary care doctor. He said, don't worry about it. It's probably some random migraine problem. But why don't you go see this neurologist down the hall in a couple of weeks? So a couple of weeks later, I saw the neurologist. He said, well, it's probably some weird migraine symptom. I wouldn't worry about it, but why don't you go have an MRI? So a couple of weeks later, I had an MRI, and they finally diagnosed that I'd had a couple of strokes. So I think, as I've since learned from a different neurologist that I now have, he tells me that time is brain when you're talking about a stroke, and so it's so important to get the care that you need immediately after you've had a stroke, because getting that clot busting drug or whatever it is so essential to being able to speed your recovery from a stroke. So it is vital for people that are having a stroke or who have had a stroke, to get somewhere where people know how to diagnose a stroke and how to treat a stroke. So it is essential and life-saving, I think, to have a standardized system of care for hospitals to know how to treat people, and to make sure that people are sent to the right place that are exhibiting symptoms of a stroke.